How do you have the courage to be authentic? This is Dr. Liz from Sex Positive Psych.
This is Cathy Vartuli from the Intimacy Dojo.
And it's a great topic. Like, how do you just we all want to be authentic. We want to be around people that are authentic. Mm-hmm. And it's scary.
It's so scary, especially in relationships. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this very particular type of person and particular type of relationship that we're all supposed to want. Mm-hmm. And for me, I saw this when I got married. I married someone who was perfect on paper. You know, he was older. He was someone who was a big figure in a hobby that we shared. He was the person everyone wanted to date, and he wanted to marry me and have the kids and do the standard life thing. And even though a big part of me through that whole relationship kept screaming like, no, this is not right for you, even though I was like miserable with how things were, because it was what I was supposed to do, it's what I did for 4 years. And it took so much to overcome that fear of, what if this is like the best I ever get?
Yeah. And if I turn it down, I never get anything better.
What if no one wants the real me?
Yeah.
What if the real me is not someone lovable?
Well, and I think we're so conditioned in our society to check off the shoulds and ought tos. We don't always check in with what actually is for us and what we want. And I know for a long time when people would ask me, my mom was meant really well, but when I was little, she would tell me, I would say, I'm tired. She's like, no, you're not tired. Yeah. Or I'd say, I'm hungry. She said, no, you're not hungry. And so I didn't know how to trust myself. And someone would ask me, what do you want? And I'd be like, you better tell me because I'll get it wrong. And it takes courage just to know what it is that you want or who you are. Like, being authentic starts with knowing that. And that process of, okay, I can be present with myself just as I am without painting a picture of something else. It can be terrifying.
Yeah. A question I ask people a lot is, if you could do anything and no one would judge you, what would it be? And I think that helps us get past those blocks of the shoulds and the oughts. Yeah. That if we can remove ourselves from a space where anyone would judge us for what we're doing, we're able to find that more authentic voice.
Yeah. I do a lot of work with people, Rick Wilkes and I at Thriving Now. We do a lot of work with people that have been traumatized, and they've been traumatized out of knowing their body. Mm-hmm. So we teach them body yes, body no, because a lot of times if you ask somebody what they want, they physically don't know how to determine that. So we actually calibrate them. We have them imagine that someone is going to come up to give them a hug. And we first imagine it's someone you love hugging, that you really want to hug. And imagine it and notice what you feel in your body. Like, I feel warm here, I feel open, I feel like all relaxed. That is how, and everybody's a little different, but really feel the sensations, not the thoughts about it, but the sensations in your body, like warm, tingly. If you're saying, oh, I feel happy, how do you know you feel happy? What do you sense in your body? That's your body yes. And then we say, just imagine kind of clear the palate, and imagine someone shake or whatever. And now imagine someone you're not comfortable hugging comes up and wants to hug you. And
not.
Yeah. Notice what you feel in your body, like close, withdraw, whatever it is. That's your body no. Notice what it feels like. Pay attention. Okay, now clear the palate. And now imagine someone comes up to you that might be a body maybe. Like you're like someone that you're not sure if you're ready to hug yet. You're not sure if you're like, they're definitely not a no, go away. But they're not a oh yes.
They're like the casual distance pat hug.
Yeah, but imagine they're about to hug you. And notice your body. My body feels like
it's
it's not closed down, it's not open, but it's kind of like fluctuating,
it's ambivalence.
Yeah. And again, everybody has different sensations. Actually do this for yourself. And then take a nice deep breath. And I always would like to end with imagining the person you love hugging you again. Imagine they're hugging you and just let yourself feel those feelings. So that's your body, one way your body talks to you. And it can have different ways. Like, we also do the same process. We have a program where we help people go through this whole process to know themselves more deeply. But you now have some calibration. So imagine if you're trying to think about what you want. So someone says, do you want to go to Indian food tonight? Yeah, I love Indian food.
Love Indian food.
But feel into your body. Does it feel more like the good hug, the bad hug, the in-between hug? And you can calibrate. And if it's the in-between hug, ask yourself what you would need to do to make it one way or the other. Is it, that restaurant I could go to, but that one I don't want to, or I'd like to have it delivered in. that the in-between one is actually really powerful. And you can even tune it so that if you're at a yes, what would make it even more wonderful? And when you start practicing that in your head and sharing that with other people, that's a real you.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying sometimes.
Well, and I think a lot of people aren't as authentic as they could be, because if you're making requests from your place of authenticity, it's like your real squishy guts that you're putting out
and if
there.
I poke at it, it hurts.
It hurts, right.
Whereas the shell of somebody else's stuff, you poke at it, well, it doesn't really
whatever,
matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's scary to be your real self. There is so much more risk involved in an emotional way to be your real self, to be authentic, and to put yourself out there. And at the same time, you're never going to have a good connection if you're pretending to be someone you're not.
Yeah. And it feels very lonely. I know for many, many years, I pretended to be the person I thought I needed to be loved. And even when someone said they loved me, it didn't land because I wasn't being really me.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, you don't really love me. You love this pretend person I'm trying to be.
Right.
And so it felt very sad and lonely and distant from people.
And the thing I tell folks is, most people I talk to who are afraid of being authentic, they're worried about rejection and how that would feel. The thing that I use with myself to reframe is, if someone says no to who I really am, that's saving me a ton of time and energy.
Yeah.
Because if I'm being my real self and that's not the right fit for them, I would so much rather know that early on. I don't want to spend 4 years with someone who then decides that they still hate who I really am. That's not a good use of my time or energy. And
if you're afraid no one will like who you are, I really encourage you, practice with baby steps. You don't have to start out with the crush of your life. You can start with, a casual coworker, like, hey, where would you like to go to lunch? I really don't want Italian today. I would really love Indian. Are you up for that? And then finding the yes for both of you. Just start practicing with small things. You don't have to just suddenly pour your guts out on all other people.
Yeah. And practice your vulnerability with friends that you trust. I think that a lot of us only think about our vulnerability in context of romantic relationships. But I think that, especially from a solo poly perspective, a lot of my closest connections emotionally are with my friends. The people that I rely on the most, that I feel the most close intimacy with, are the people who I'm not having sex with.
Well, I think we need to come back and define solo poly for people.
Yeah!
In the meantime, we'd love to hear what holds you back from being authentic, and how do you help yourself through all the blocks that come up. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, thanks.